Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sparky Coach podcast. I am, in fact, the self-appointed and self-anointed, self-proclaimed one and only intro lord Crowe. And this is plain old,
just boring old Cam.
just boring old, run-of-the-mill, vanilla Cam. Like vanilla ice, but not as cool.
Shout out to vanilla slices. If I'm going to be vanilla, I'll be a vanilla slice.
I mean, look, vanilla's not a payout. It's the best. If I'm going to order an ice cream, like from this, I lie here because there's this ice cream shop in Byron called Frankie's.
Yep.
And the chocolate there rivals the streets of Positano. Let me tell you, hectic. It's like proper Italian, incredible gelato, right? No, sorry, ice cream. But amazing. You got to go there.
Frankie's.
If you're in town, go and get some. If you're not, sucked in.
So I'd just like to give a shout out to my favourite ice cream place in the world, which is in Hastings Street at Noosa, Massimo's.
Massimo's? What are you getting? From there, because I'm getting chocolate if I go.
I'm getting double chocolate.
A double chocolate?
Yeah, well, like 2 scoops.
Oh, okay. Selfish. In a cup or cone?
I like to mix it up. I'm probably I love a good waffle cone, but also love it in a cup too. But yeah, it's outstanding. So I'll put Frankie on my list of places to do a comparison.
Yeah. So sometimes we're there, and if I go there, I'm picking chocolate at Frankie's every day of the week. And Elodie likes to mix things up and change it, and she'll adapt, but then she'll do it, realize it's not as good. And then I've got to hand my chocolate over, unless I really eat it quick, which I'm pretty quick. If I recognise what's happening, I'm going, if I just down this thing, I don't have to hand it over.
Brain free.
Yeah. Like, I'm still enjoying this. My head is killing me. So we're talking about mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm talking specifically with Elodie and her lunch orders, dinner orders,
choice
ice
of,
cream orders, choice of
selection.
change.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix
Don't
it.
fix it. No,
so talking about mistakes, and not only mistakes, I mean, let's just face it, mistakes are inevitable.
Mistakes happen.
Mistakes are going to happen. If you sit there and stare at what you did wrong all the time, like, woe is me, I suck, I'm the worst person ever, the worst boss, the worst human, the worst dad, the worst husband, the worst wife, the worst, that's just not good. It's going to help no one. But it's good to learn from them. And I want to encourage everyone, no matter what you've done, no matter what you've been through, no matter what's happened, good can come from that. So if you can treat your mistakes and approach and confront them head on, yeah, I stuffed up, but also be like, what did I learn out of that? And something great can come from the madness.
Yep.
So referencing, what do you think when I say that?
So I can relate to this in a real life event. So probably 18 months, 12 months in, maybe 12 to 18 months in of venturing out into my own, I was like, I need help. I can't do everything on my own anymore. So I hired an apprentice.
I'm picturing you just staring at the sky, going like, I need help. And Cam, that's a cloud. It is not going to help you.
So needed some help. So I hired an apprentice. Great kid, really, really good kid, good work, all that sort of stuff. But what it did is it created more work for me. So I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do properly. So what ended up happening was we'd work all day on the tools together. So 5 days a week, and then I'd work all night. And then we were probably about, and I had no checks or balances in the process of like a probation period or anything like that. I'm like, yeah, thumbs up, you're doing well. Let's go get beers. It's Friday. Thumbs down. That wasn't great.
Just trying to be cool, boss. What are you, Russell Crowe from Gladiator? There's a Tito in the middle.
So none of that, which didn't really help. But obviously, we can certainly help with that sort of stuff at Sparky Coach with giving you some checklists and dotting some I's and crossing some T's when it comes to probation check-in. But didn't have that, so it just created a lot of stress and a lot of like just more work basically, and it wasn't cool. So I recognised that it was a mistake, so I just pulled the pin on it because I was like, I can't keep going on like this. Raquel was pregnant with our second, and it was just chaos. But what I did learn from that mistake was that my first hire for the type of business that I was in and the work that I was doing wasn't an apprentice. It needed to be a tradie because I could then send that tradesman to do the work while I spent time doing some work and doing some administration work. So there's a silver lining to every story, as we know. But I guess what we're trying to say here, or what I'm trying to say here, is reiterating what you just said, is that from mistakes that you learn from them. And as long as you learn from them, it's not a bad thing.
No, sometimes the best things in life happen through a mistake, and if you can learn from it. And it's interesting to see because my first hire was an apprentice, and I would do the same thing again in the line of work I was in, which was more like longer jobs, not just someone standing there watching you change an isolator, but someone standing there, someone doing stuff. It was always active, always helping. And I would encourage anyone, ask yourself the question when you're going to hire, do you have to have a tradie or can you have an apprentice? And apprentices are incredible. They really help out, balance out your cost operations. They are someone learning your skills, your ways, your communication, your theologies, your philosophies about everything from everything from the pre-dinosaur period or to
Mozart.
to what team you should follow. Nah, man, the 90s sucked for this. To what music's good or like. So
did the question did the 90s did good music ever go past the end of the 90s decade?
Good music will always be Creed to me. I just heard the news today. You know it. Yeah, it's a great song. And just to reference Cam's Creed tattoo on the back of his neck, you can't see it, but it's just under his barcode. Oh, man. Creed. If Creed would sponsor the podcast.
I feel like Creed was pretty good, but Goo Goo Dolls better.
Goo Goo Dolls? That Iris song's hectic. That's a great song.
And I don't want to miss a thing.
That's Aerosmith.
Damn it!
Are you kidding? What's going on? A couple of mistakes in
So
here.
what I'm trying to say is that I need to learn from my mistakes by, I guess, expanding my repertoire.
Don't want the world That's a great... Everyone
Nicolas
loves
Cage,
that song.
Meg Ryan, great movie, City of Angels.
City of Angels, yeah. But mistakes, I remember having...
I'm right. I'm right.
Are you right? You're right about something?
I'm right.
Yeah, okay.
Right. I'm always
You're right because you don't want to miss a thing.
100%.
Yeah. Fantastic. I remember I was run off my feet, manic as anything, and having to, I was just rushing, music blaring, phone going off, just like running a team of people, slip with a speedball, brand new speedball, drilled through my fingers.
Oh, wow.
If you're looking, 25 mil speedball, straight through the fingers, tendon, artery, nerve. I was in one of those plastic casts for 12 weeks. And anyway, I was literally the first thing that went through my mind, it was a Thursday. And the first thing that went through my mind was, we've got to start the pub tomorrow. It was a builder had this new pub in the inner city, and we had to be there. I'd sort of told him we would, and that's why I was rushing so much. And anyway, so Friday, I'm obviously not at work. I'm getting emergency surgery on my hand, which they just put straight through. Shout out to Workers' Comp for that, because they paid 95% of your wage last year. So make sure you're paying yourself something in that regard. It's no good to just consistently underpay yourself. But yeah, so that happened. And then anyway, so Monday I called the builder, said, we're not going to make Monday. I've done this. It was almost relieving in a way because I couldn't really make it anyway. Anyway, long story short, had the surgery and kind of came to, and I was able to, in the following 12 weeks of that was the situation that got me off the tools. We had maybe 8 people at that point, and it was pretty manic. I was on the tools maybe a little bit too much, and got me off the tools because I couldn't work on the tools, and put me in a boat where I was computer lord. Now quotes were getting back to people.
Is this where you turned into tech lord?
This is where I turned into tech lord. Yeah, and I got a 5G tower tattoo on my back. Like the Eiffel Tower, but 5G. And it actually changed my business. And I was able to then, I think on the first day of being off, it might have been a Monday or Tuesday, I was able to contact people. We found 2 subbies to come work for us within 48 or within 2 working days, so 48 hours. So now all of a sudden we had an additional 80 hours of...
So good with numbers.
I do like them. And then and I remember we found 2 tradies. So now all of a sudden I had an extra 80 hours worth of work. If I was on the tools, I would have been trying to do those 40, 50, 60.
Well, essentially, you've gone from like probably minus 60. So you're putting in 60 hours that you can't really afford.
Yeah.
Straight out. And then you're like, righto now, but I've got another 80. So you've covered yourself straight up, and you're now in the positive as well.
Yeah. So I was able to. My biggest fear was how was I going to run the pub job. I ended up going there, taking my computer aside, and I was punching out all the invoices. I was still there to answer questions, and I was still showing present. I wasn't charging. If you're listening, workers' comp, I was not charging the pub and you at the same time. That would be unethical.
So you're like the on-site project manager.
I was the on-site project manager, and that mistake, so to speak, caused fueled from manicness, fueled from like just psycho undertaking of workload for too long, became maybe the greatest thing that ever happened in the business. Put me off the tools, put me in a project manager role, put me in a boss mode, put me in a paperwork mode, put me in a quoting mode, put me in an invoicing mode, put me in a return phone calls mode.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the business actually more or less doubled in the next 6 to 12 months just from me being present in the office. And that was just unbelievable. So I want to encourage everyone, no matter what happens to you, good can come from it if you can just see the silver lining.
Yeah. No, so I think like 2 really like they're a little bit different examples, because yours was probably a mistake was made probably through like a bit of burnout. Would you sort of say, like just not having you trying to do too many things. And mine was just made through the decision I made wasn't suitable for where the business was at. And needless to say, mistakes happen every single day. So, funny one that I've come across once upon a time that I heard from a member, that the technician went to the wrong house.
I've heard this story.
Went to the wrong property. So they went to the wrong property, but it just so happened to be that they were also expecting an electrician. I can't remember what the exact works were. I think it might have been like a rental, so it was like just maybe smoke alarms or something simple like that. Went to the wrong address, did the work there, but somehow it was communicated back, and they're like, no, but the history on the site says this. Why are we doing this sort of thing? Anyway, it turned out and that was just a simple mistake I think the GPS may have sent them to the wrong location, or, instead of doing such and such street, it sent to the parade or something like that. So that's a simple mistake. And as a business owner, a little bit probably frustrating, like, oh my God, we've lost an hour there. But don't focus on that. Just focus on the hilariousness. If you can't afford an hour, you probably run a little bit too tight a margin sort of thing. That's hilarious. And that's a shout out to everyone. And, the tradie would learn from that, or the person involved with it, but hilarious.
Okay. So one of our members, this is crazy, unit. So the technician went to 104 instead of 204. Oh. So picture the same setup. And anyway, so it was 9:30. The boss gets a call going, where's the guys? He goes, oh, I thought they were there. Call the tech on site. He's like, yeah, we're here. This was a decommissioning and takedown of a aircon system and reinstate. Yeah. So I'm talking proper holes in gyprock, take down the system and reinstate something. Hectic kind of stuff. Wow. And anyway, wrong unit number. Right job, wrong unit number.
So 104 and 204 both got new systems.
Great, fantastic. Thank God for insurance. So just want to encourage everyone in sort of wrapping up. Yeah, good can come with your mistakes. Stay positive, stay humble, stay laughing,
it's optimistic.
Find the humorous side of things, trying to take yourself too seriously. You'll never get out alive.
No. Learn from it is probably the key to it all. So, rather than looking at it as a negative and sort of a catastrophic sort of event, look at it as, okay, what can we take away from this? Are we taking away just a laugh because it was funny? Are we taking away a new process? Are we taking away a new way to do things? Can we counter these things from happening again in the future? Can we develop or talk about this particular instance and share it with people? Because, and probably one thing, I mean, this is probably like a little bit off topic, but one thing I know you and I are really passionate about is sharing stories like this and talking about things. So, like, if you don't talk about those things to your team, talk about them to your wider sort of sparky community, people aren't going to know and aren't able to relate to them then. So talk about amongst your team, be like, hey, this happened. Look, not ideal, but however, what we can learn from it is A, B, C, and D, because often your biggest wins can be, or like the best outcomes can come from sort of like the darkest moments or the sort of the lows at the end of it. So try to limit your mistakes, but also when they do happen, look for the silver lining amongst them.
Absolutely. Happy silvering.
Thank you.